Hi, I'm Andrew Blackwood and welcome to Kames Motorsport Complex for the Albar Landscapes Kames Rally. It's round 7 in the championship and hopefully have a good day.
The juniors return to Kames for the second time this season, and it's a big weekend with two new drivers making their rally debuts. Plus, there's a championship on the line.
I didn't think we could fall in love.
In the driving seat for the title, Ewan Tyndall has started as he means to go on, leading from the front. However, championship rival Jude McDonald is also on form, equalling the 107 over the first loop. With the Alto in hospital after its Solway accident, Johnny Mackay is back in his trusty Micra. Now this is a good thing if you're a spectator, because the Micra has a decent handbrake. It's an early third for the Sideways King. Lewis Haining has already found the limit.
Jude McDonald's time is 1:35.
Despite giving his dad a small heart attack, it's going well, fourth and only 1 second back from Mackay. So let's learn a bit more about the man in the Igo.
I didn't think we could fall in love. Broken from the start, chained to our past.
This season has seen Lewis evolve from a solid midfield finisher to a genuine podium contender. Hailing from Dumfries and Galway, Lewis has grown up around some of the biggest names in Scottish rallying.
I took a young boy in with young Lewis Haining, and he read the notes, and he read them well to the point where we got on the fast stuff, and then he just like, go on, you know, just you keep going, and then he got quite smart, you know, he was good, so I was quite pleased with that.
A lot of people in Dumfries, Mark McCulloch, he's helped me a lot, and I quite aspire to be like him. His neat driving style's helped me a lot come on, and I appreciate his help that he's given me.
As a young Scottish rally driver, it's no real surprise that he looks up to Colin McRae, although one of his biggest heroes in rallying is a little closer to home.
Yeah, my dad's got to be the main one. I mean, watching him through the years, going through the forest, driving the car quicker than anybody could have drove that Nova, and he just never got the break of a faster car, but he bet cars, Subarus, Evos, it was great to watch, and I think everybody will join me to say that he was one of the best I've seen.
I would certainly agree with that. Having watched Ian in a stage and known how he was doing everything on a shoestring with the wee car, he really sent it on its wheels.
And its roof sometimes. So I can't moan at me if it happens, but let's just hope it doesn't.
Didn't think we were following.
Lewis is another young driver who can't wait to get into the woods.
Well, ever since I can remember, I've had a spanner in my hand with my dad rallying through the years of the SRC, and I attended all the events with him, and I knew straight away I wanted to do that, and sadly having to do the tarmac, it's not my favourite. I would rather be in the woods, but we'll get there one day.
Back to the action, and it's a good start for our intro man Andrew Blackwood, 5th and just 4 seconds behind Haining. Then came the first of our newcomers. Oliver Hunter has made the switch from karts to cars, with Tom Hind alongside. It's a fantastic early 6th for Oliver in the ex-Joss Hislop 107. He's got some company. Peter Beaton is only 1 second back after 4 stages. Back in the Micra for her home event, it's a good start for Amy McCubbin, taking the early lead in the battle to be top lady. It's not as good a return to Nissan power for Lewis Winder, fuel starvation problems leaving him 9th early on. It's also a steady start for Alice Patterson, taking no chances in the wet conditions. Then came our second newcomer. Fraser Anderson is definitely in at the deep end this weekend, and he's doing well, keeping it on the road despite the rain as his learning curve begins. Out for the second batch of stages, and Tyndall grabbed a second from McDonald to enter the lunch break with the tiniest of leads. There's also a change for third. Haining recovering from his early moment to grab the place from Mackay. The Igo now 3 seconds ahead of the Micra. Johnny better keep an eye on his mirrors. Andrew Blackwood is on the march, now only 4 seconds back from the Micra. Staying sixth, Oliver Hunter has managed to take a second out of Blackwood's advantage over these 4 stages. The gap now 9 seconds. Peter Beaton has gone in the opposite direction, now 4 seconds behind Hunter and a little off his normal pace. Still at the top of the ladies' battle, Amy McCubbin was holding station in 8th, 10 seconds ahead of Winder, still struggling with the Micra's fuel supply. Also a bit off her normal pace, Alice Patterson was still only 5 seconds ahead of newcomer Anderson. Confidence and pace growing for the Microman as the day progressed.
Yeah, it's been a good battle so far. You know, we've drawn on pretty much all the stages and it's been close, just like it should be at Kames.
The dampness, are you enjoying that?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different. You know, you don't normally get rallies in the wet, surprisingly enough. But I'm enjoying it.
Obviously, a championship is just touching distance, but I'm sure you're not really thinking like that.
No, I've got to get it to him. You know, there's no point in going chucking it off. Touch wood.
We're second down, I think, overall. So, our plan for today was to sit within firing distance. The chances of the championship this year are very, very slim. So, let's just sit within firing distance. So, if anything, you know what Kames is like. It's unpredictable. So, just to see if anything happened, but. Yeah, it's going well. It's slippy.
No problem with brakes or anything like that today?
Not today, no. It's odd. We had a suspension problem in the morning. It wasn't affecting handling or anything, but it was just clunking underneath, which didn't give you a lot of confidence, but we sorted that.
Out for the second half of the day, and the nature of the stages change. Faster sections opening things up. As his pace increased, Fraser Anderson was gaining in confidence. Naturally, a rally driver has to find the limits, and a couple of grassy moments saw him finish 11th after a day of learning.
2 minutes 19 seconds for Amy.
28 seconds up the road, Alice Patterson took 10th this time out. Fuel problems fixed, Lewis Winder was able to claw back time, eventually finishing on equal times with Amy McCubbin. Amy grabbing the ladies' win and wrapping up the Pearson of Duns Award for the top Nissan in the championship standings with 1 round remaining. Just before the last loop, Peter Beaton discovered an issue with the rear tyre pressures. Issue fixed, his pace was back at its normal level, unfortunately a case of too little too late, and he finished in 7th. Sixth was an excellent debut result for Oliver Hunter. In the battle for 4th, Blackwood had put on a charge to equal times with Mackay after stage 12 and had a 5-second lead by SS14. but then it fell apart, a big spin dropping him back to 5th at the finish. Fourth was probably the best that Mackay could expect in the micro at the start of the day. Keeping his head when Blackwood was charging, it was another solid result for Johnny. Taking a second podium in a row, it was another good day for Lewis, Haining and George Myatt, and the only IGO in the field.
Lewis, George, congratulations, 3rd place today, happy with that?
Yeah, really happy. Difficult morning with set-up, brake issues, tyre issues, everything, and we had a few off-road moments, but it came good in the end.
You weren't alone today, difficult conditions and the wet and dry.
Yeah, I mean, it was mixing and changing. It was raining before you went out, so you'd set your tyre pressures to that and then you'd go out and it would dry up, and then we got away with it though.
George, quite a difficult day with all these kind of splits and keeping Lewis on the right road.
He takes no looking after, he is really mature, his whole attitude is very, very good.
No problems with splits and merges today?
Not today. I think we've got that sorted out, Lewis. At the start of the season we had a wee problem, but we've got over that. We're here.
In that battle for first, Jude McDonald was to make the decisive mistake. An overshoot onto the grass costing 14 seconds to leave the City Go 24 seconds back by the finish.
Jude, Michael, congratulations, 2nd place.
Yeah, best result at Kames. I mean, didn't go all our way, but smiling at the end was our first. We weren't here to push for the win anyway, it was just to get around because we can't afford to drop any more scores now, so that's us.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was close. It was a close battle all day, genuinely was. We were quite impressed with our pace, given that it's Kames. We never tend to do very well here. We were tying and then it went a little bit wrong, but yeah, we're still second, so good for the championship. So.
Wrapping up the championship title in style, Ewan Tindall and Paul Hudson were made to work for it by Jude this weekend. 24 seconds at the finish doesn't really reflect how close the battle was at the top.
Ewan, Paul, congratulations on another win at Kames today.
Yeah, and a win that came with the championship too, with the round to spare. You know, a really good day, really tricky conditions, and overcame them. You know, made no mistakes throughout the day and set a good pace and came up with a win too, so that's a bonus.
No problems at all. I mean, it looked quite controlled again. You know, there didn't seem to be any nerves out there, and of course, just the first person who blinked was Jude.
Well, there was a few touches in the car, you know, a few scary moments, but we had them all under control.
You could just came here, like I said, we didn't have to win, but sometimes if you try and go slower, that's when you make more mistakes. So we just, same game plan, let's just go, drive where we normally drive, you know, and see where we're at. And we came away with a win. So.
So Tyndall wraps up the Scottish Championship and would wrap up the English series a fortnight later. But it's not all over for the drivers, with Anglesey still to come to finish off the season.